Tanya, this is now her second time hanging out with you, second season.
Yes.
In the mix. Do you see parallels between both of your first season and her?
Tanya. Oh, Tanya. She's so bubbly. What did Nene name her? Tanada?
Oh, Tanada.
Tanada. Oh, Tanada.
Yeah.
Tanya is genuinely a well-intended sweet girl.
Absolutely.
Like, she just is. She wasn't ready, I guess, like our first seasons,
Right.
wasn't ready for what was to come, but she quickly learned.
Yeah, I think her cherry
She
got
learned
popped.
faster than I did.
Note to self, don't underestimate Kenya when it comes to petty.
Take me back to when this all started. Were there tensions between Kenya and Tanya from the start?
The big friction between Tanya and Kenya, I would say, was that wig.
Listen, I might have something on her.
Oh!
That's that wig!
I didn't think I was like exposing someone's alopecia and deep dark secret.
Yeah.
Like this felt so safe to me, I can't even tell you. Like, so it was our last dinner, you know, we'd had this great time, World War II had happened, we'd all come back, we were tired, right? So the dinner pops up and we all make it there. Marlo comes, she's like, guys, I didn't have any glam, I'm wearing glasses. Like we were tired, okay? Marlo said to Kenya, she was like, Kenya, are you wearing a wig?
Kenya, I need to know, do you have on a wig tonight?
I didn't say that. Don't
You
even
do,
try.
I can tell. Pull it off.
Listen, don't set yourself up for an insult.
Golly, I have on a wig. I have on a wig. You got on a wig. I'm asking. Okay, Lord Jesus.
And that conversation wasn't just one or two, you know, back and forth. It went on for quite a few minutes, and the end result was, you know, Kenya never admitted to wearing this wig, and she got so frustrated and defensive, she took off her microphone and left.
Oh my God. Wow. But there ain't nothing wrong with wearing a wig.
This was interesting because it was really apparent. Like, she wasn't a you part, she was wearing a wig. I'm sitting beside her, we could all say it, and she, like, continued to deny it.
If I had a wig on a trip, doesn't negate the fact that I have long, thick, healthy hair to my waist. Everybody on earth has had their hands in my hair, which is the only way you can really tell if somebody is wearing extensions or not, fake wigs, whatever.
We all know very well that Kenya has more hair than anyone in the world.
Hold on. Can I qualify?
sure.
it? Kenya Moore has 24 inches of full virgin hair.
Kenya's hair is down to her ankles.
I
all
have
her.
touched it. I have wanted to pull it quite a few times.
Her hair's that long. We all know that.
Does she wear wigs on top of her hair if she wants to? Absolutely. Does she want to promote that with a hair care line? No, not necessarily.
When it is my hair, I say it's my hair. When it's not, I tell people. So when in question, today it's not. But when 90% of the time it is. If you ask me directly, I won't lie.
Kenya, I need to know, do you have on a wig tonight? Okay, Lord Jesus.
And if I don't want to tell you, then that's my choice, but I'm not gonna lie about it. So what is it that you're trying to prove here?
For me, 2 days later, when I get a text, and it wasn't like, hey girl, thanks for having me. I'd talked to all the other girls, they were like, best trip ever. It was like, hey girl, I don't even think it was hey girl, whatever it was. It was like, I left something there, can you please pick it up at the front desk, right? I was like, okay. So come on. I can't tell you how funny it was when I opened up this little gift bag and it was a freaking wig. The wig that she left the table at.
wig.
I was like, this is hilarious. Like, this is so much fun. And maybe I'm like, you know, this is Tanya's quirky humor of like, if this isn't funny, I don't know what is, right? Like, I thought that was funny.
Initially, when I first heard about it, I was like, yes, Tanya for stepping up to the petty club.
Right.
Like
Oh,
I was here for her
Yeah.
being a little bit petty, considering that people
And she
have
was
been
still like quirky
It was
and
fun
you
petty.
know. But when you do your petty and you know you're being petty, you gotta own your petty completely.
have to own
you
your
cannot
petty.
be like, oh well, I had to check the bag because I was going to. Okay, fine, check the bag.
You
We
gotta
get
check the
all
bag.
of that,
You
girl.
do.
You know you're not gonna carry some mysterious bag across the border. We
But
get
see,
all that.
this
but now
is-
please own the fact that you did not have to drive it 2 hours to Duluth to Jeju's spot. You had
No,
to do that.
she did not. But I think Tanya,
Petty.
new to this group, was trying to figure out how to fit. And she's like, look, this girl done pissed me off a few times.
Right.
She's been shady
I
towards
got
me.
some.
She's been
I
petty.
got a win.
And she literally called me and left petty for me to pick up. I don't think she realized how big of a bomb she
No.
was gonna drop.
She thought it was a sparkler.
She did, but she didn't
She was
realize
like,
it was
"This
a
is
Magnum
cute."
bottle, Ace of Spades, New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
big party.
Yeah.
Like she didn't realize that. Because if Tanya would have just left the wig and let Kenya make it, honey, with that hair situation, it wouldn't have gone any further.
Right.
I think when Tanya went further on the petty,
You go to this lunch, right, where you're going to meet Kenya.
Yes.
You're anticipating this meeting. What were your expectations?
Okay, so now it had like trickled down. Kandi had brought back this wig and they were like, Kenya's gonna kill you. And I'm like, what? So I never thought it was gonna be this huge thing, but I'm like, okay, Kenya's gonna kill me. So we go to this thing and they're like, well, just talk about it. Cause Cynthia at this point now was like, I think you guys should be friends. You should just talk about it. I'm like, I'm fine to talk about it. Like, great. So I thought we were gonna go there and it was gonna be like, I'm really sorry that I didn't give you back your wig. And it was not what I thought was gonna happen.
The fact is you were a real
oh, don't say that.
Lord Jesus.
Yes, you were. Get lost. Disgusting.
I was like,
The C word.
yes. Porsha's like,
Yeah, she was so, okay, so when I talked to Tanya about it, she was furious over the C word, see
I
you
was.
next Tuesday.
I was.
And you know me, we don't call each other that. I have been around Kenya cursing plenty of people out. I've been in a curse match with her, and I have never called her one. She's never called me one. At this point, we've used bitch so much, it's almost like girl or chick, you know, or like, hey chica,
It
hey
sure
bitch.
is.
You know, so when you said that she called you the see you next Tuesday, I'm like, well damn, what would make her call you that? The C word was just a little different. That hit very different.
Oh, she, like,
and
spat it out
like
at me.
came from her gut. Like she meant it and it landed very well. And it was like I could see how that could have affected you that day.
That wasn't just
that
like,
was
yes.
it was pretty rough.
How about going to the C word?
Yeah. You know what? Listen, I am rarely angry on this show. People who watch this show know that I rarely lose my cool. Have I ever even lost my cool on this show?
You are a dumb hoe. Shut up. Security. Security. Does that mean worry about your life and the daughter you pimp out for John Legend tickets? Stop it! Let's get the truth. The fact is you were a real
I certainly lost my cool because now that I have a daughter and I work so hard on my hair care line and it's my baby, I don't have a man taking care of me. I didn't marry a rich man to come up in this world and to wear Chanel and designer clothes every day.
So ladies, if you allow me, I'm going to take you on a fashion journey.
This the shade assassin again?
No, I'm just saying, I didn't have that. My legacy and my hair care line is for my daughter. And so when she did that, I felt like she was trying to discredit everything I've worked so hard for. And that is why I lost my cool, because it has everything to do with my child and my legacy.
but when she explained that her coins come from promoting natural hair and hair growth, and she has products to support that, and so then to say that what I am promoting and supporting and have is not real, I can understand her frustration. I think it is a misunderstanding, but I could totally appreciate her frustration.
I did own it and I did certainly apologize for it, but I certainly don't take back the fact that I brought the cookie lady to that table to get, you know, her rendition of what the story is.
I thought that even that, the C word was where it would have ended as a consequence to bringing the wig, okay? When the next level was when the cookie lady came and it was like, aha! When bringing an actual woman around our group
honey,
was
I gotta roll up my
like
sleeves for this
very
one.
new and very, to me, it was definitely below the belt.
So the cookie lady.
So you know your boy, Paul?
Yes. Tanya's husband. What?
Nothing, but he kind of like was all over me.
What was your first reaction when you saw that? What was Paul's first reaction?
He was mad. He was really, really mad. When we first saw it, he was like livid, like, that's a lie! Like,
Oh, when she
firing
said
up.
his name.
Paul.
Paul, right? And he was like, what? I barely even remember that person. You saw that?
That's right here what pissed me off.
And she was
that
like,
would have pissed me off.
That's going to be a split screen, by the way.
do it with lips, because it's even better.
Is this my camera?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys know Paul. Girl, can you drop your tongue down talking about somebody else's man? You said you don't want me to go somewhere. Girl, I've been around Paul, and he wouldn't care where you go.
But eventually you met her in person. So how was that? Tell me about meeting the cookie lady.
It was pretty shocking. I just did not expect that. We're in this, like, it's a very rocky conversation, and in walks this lady with cookies. So I saw her coming, and I was just like, I just saw this box of, like, whatever, baked goods, and I was like, no way.
Did you know?
No, but you could, as soon as I saw this person coming in and, like, there was a camera on her, I was like,
Okay.
no way.
I think I had a hat on that day. I literally wanted to crawl in my hat. Like, I wanted to crawl.
No, your eyes were like, oh my God. No, it was crazy. Like, we both, like, even for Kenya, I did not think in a million years that she was going to bring this lady to the lunch.
I was kicking you under the table. You were across from me, Tanya was next to me, and Kenya was right there. And when the cookie lady came up, we and you have eaten at that restaurant before, and we have been here for 40 minutes. I have not seen this waitress. She does not work here. And then when I started kicking you, like, is this the cookie lady?
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was just like, keep your cool. Keep your cool. Because I was like, this is kind of pathetic.
What did you think of her story? What did you think of her?
I mean, here's the craziest thing. It was so weak. I don't know if I said it, but I was like, why are you here? Like, why are you here? Because she could have, like I said, she could have lied, she could have said anything, and she basically was like, exposed herself for, oh, well, a bunch of guys bought me and my sister drinks, thirsty, and, you know, there was conversation back and forth, and I gave him my card, he accepted it, and that was really it. Like, there was no numbers exchanged. He didn't take her number. I was like, that's your story? Really? And you came on national television? So I'm actually, in a way, I'm like, great. Because that was like the stupidest, weakest story. And let me tell you one thing. I said this over and over to all the other girls. I go, let me tell you something. If anyone tried to do that on your Mr. Michael Sterling or Mr. Todd Tucker, you would have literally ripped them limb from limb.
Oh no, Kandi would have gone crazy.
Like,
She'd have drugged somebody. Like she said, I'm gonna drag you in this bitch. Drag you in this bitch.
Yeah,
she would have drugged somebody.
Way.
No.
There is no way.
And Cynthia would have been kicking. I commend you. Because that could not have been me.
I have like some real badass ladies that I feel like I channeled in that moment. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, you would have had to.
Yeah.
You did a good job. After that, I probably wouldn't have gave her anything. Like, why would I give you anything?
Yeah, I just kind of was like, okay. And then it was Kenya and I was like, you thought this is okay? Mm-hmm. Like, you orchestrated this, you put intentional time and effort into doing this, and you thought this was okay. I was just like, why would you do this?
You know, I'm a shade assassin. So, listen, you asked for it, lady. So you came for me. Let the record show you came for me first.
At any point were you irritated with Paul over this?
I honestly wasn't, because he was very upfront, and when he told me the story, I was like, okay, like, that's fine.
So what did Paul have to say about it?
He was mad. He was really, really mad. He's like a great wing guy. Like, come on, go. I can see exactly what happened.
So Paul was playing wingman in this situation.
So the situation was, there was a bunch of guys from Morehouse. They were out at a bar, and there were two ladies at the end of the bar. And so there's 6 guys there, like, hey, ladies, do you want some drinks? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, this is the actual night.
Yeah.
This is actually what
Yeah,
happened.
he recounted it. Like, I'm pretty sure there's been tons of times when we've been out and people are like, do you want drinks or whatever?
Right.
So they're like, we sure do. And then they're like, okay, well, we're leaving now. So he was like, ladies, where are you going? These guys, like, we just bought you drinks, like, saying stay. And like, there's some of them that are single in this group. He wasn't being like, where are you going? Let's like intimately stay here. That did not happen. So I wasn't mad at him. I saw exactly how that could happen. Paul and I sleep together 365 days a year. Like, I'm grateful we live in the same city. We're not in some long distance relationship. Like, That's solid.
Tanya worked very hard to discredit the Cookie Lady story and all that. The bottom line is they were out, he approached her, they had conversation.
You can go out and like have a conversation with other people at a bar. Like that's just
Right.
normal adulthood that's based on a relationship that's filled with trust.
He said he was single to this very attractive woman, and you think that's nothing. So he said he was single. And she brushed over that. She's like, oh, good. Okay, right? So it's nothing? Okay, great. It's nothing, right? Oh, so this is nothing. Okay, good. Perfect. Here's my card, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, honey, it's everything.
There's levels to cheating, to me personally.
Levels?
Yeah, I feel like flirting it depends on how much the flirt is. I don't think flirting is necessarily like, you know what, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If you went and had sex with another person, you would without a doubt have cheated on me.
If they
now,
spent the night
if you
with
had
somebody
a
didn't have sex?
conversation with another woman out somewhere socially, because some guys are just flirts. I don't necessarily look at it like, oh my God, you sat and talked to this other woman, I'm going to leave you, you have cheated on me, you have done me wrong. And to me, like having sex with someone is cheating. Kissing someone is cheating. Holding someone else's hand and like acting like you want to have sex with them is cheating.
Okay, as long as you put all the other stuff in there. I thought you meant just sex.
Having a conversation that could have been flirtatious but doesn't really go anywhere, that's not cheating to me.
I agree.
I'm a very secure person, despite what some people may think. For me, it's like at this point in my life, I'm like, child, be social. Like, just, you know what's right and what's wrong.
Tanya kept referring to herself as his wife during that conversation. Again, you're insecure. She's an 8-year fiancé. She needs to be insecure about him. Who is engaged for 8 years? When you refer to yourself as his wife, you're not his wife. She reverts to that many times. I'm his wife. No, you're actually not his wife. You're his fiance. So for me, no, you can't. This is just a fact. Okay, this is psychology 101.
Like, how do we even know what the cookie lady's saying is true? I know she said it,
well,
but how do we know what she's saying is actually true?
Well, you don't, and that's why rumors are rumors. Like, you know, it was never presented to Tanya like, okay, we know that this actually happened. This is what this woman has said to us.
And by the way, we also have other tea on Tanya, but we'll wait for the reunion for that. Yes, we do. I'll remind you later. Okay.
Don't put me in
I
your
will,
mess.
and I will every time.
I am not in that.
So.
Okay, lunch with Kenya and the cookie lady. Would you say it went too far?
Absolument.
Yeah. And when did it go too far?
In that conversation at the table when it got really heated, she's like, I don't care about your one egg.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Like, that felt like.
Wait, when?
I hope this is on tape.
I have only tried to help you, Tanya.
How were you trying to help
When I had the conversation with you about your one egg.
We had had this conversation in Toronto about, you know, IVF and stuff. And she was just like, stop waiting. Like, you know, look at me, I've done this. And my advice to you is to just put your one egg in. And I keep saying like, well, you know, I've probably spent like over $220,000 at various doctors from here to New York. And so I think somewhere in there, it got carried back to her that was like a sore point for me. And it wasn't really like, I mean, this is the life I live. It's like, okay.
And she screamed that to you, I don't care
Yeah,
about your
I mean,
one
it
egg.
went so, yeah.
I had conversations with Tanya, helping her with her IVF. That's how I met Tanya, not from the show. She was on the show, but that was a season I wasn't on. And so someone said, you should talk to Kenya. She has a lot of resources. I've done a lot of, you know, tons of research on IVF. And so I had multiple conversations with her, and I thought she was lovely over the phone, and we had good chemistry, and I was happy to help her.
I do know that when Kenya came back into the circle, she actually liked Tanya.
A lot.
But
there's anybody
and
in this
they
group
had
I think she was
conversations
cool with.
outside. They kind of had their own little friendship. I'm not saying they were best of friends, but they definitely talked. You know, about, you know, infertility. You know, I remember giving Kenya Tanya's number, as a matter of fact. So they kind of had their own little thing. And I know Kenya specifically told me that she definitely liked Tanya.
Okay.
So I don't think Kenya came back into the circle to blow Tanya's head off. You know, at that time, no one really knew where Kenya was at in her relationship. I knew she was having some issues. Kandi knew that she was having some issues, but it wasn't like nobody thought like they would separate at that point.
Right.
So I'm not saying that, you know, Kenya was just in a not so happy, well, she was in a not so happy place. And, you know, Tanya's in a overly happy place, you know, 100% of the time.
To Kenya,
So,
seemingly overly happy place.
Yes.
And she's like, ma'am.
No, I honestly feel like my life is completely perfect.
I mean, Tanya basically pretty much, you know, says her relationship is perfect. And, you know, at this point, Kenya clearly knows, you know, there's kind of no such thing as perfect. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like perfect, maybe perfect for each other. That's one of the things that Mike and I say. You know, you kind of put yourself up there kind of high. So I don't know, maybe there was a trigger.
Whether you want to create this whole facade that your relationship is so perfect, we all know there is no such thing as a perfect relationship. There is no such thing.
Okay.
Now, you can be happy. You can have tiffs, you can have fights or whatever. You can have things that happen and occur, but it's not, there is no such thing as a perfect relationship.
No, I mean, no relationship is perfect. I mean, like I said, I mean, that's why I was like, she could have been talking about anybody at that table.
If you know that someone's man in the group is cheating, would you want to know?
I feel like any of us at some point could have looked at our man sideways like, no, was that you?
But here's the thing, I'm one of them. I'm one of them because considering what's going on in my own relationship, and I said that too, I could have been asking for myself, do you guys have tea? You want to tell me? Because I'm trying to figure out why my man is behaving the way he is, and maybe that's something that I might be insecure about, or I may want to know, well, what is really going on? So for them or the fans or anybody else to try to read me about it, I've already read myself, honey.